Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining the Saturday program, the Bhagavad Gita discussions. Today we are in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, before we starting, it's very important to understand what we discussed in the last two verses, because Arjuna, after Lord Krishna speaks 29th and 30th verses on the 7th chapter, Arjuna is asking few questions in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, in the 29th and 30th verse, Jara Marana Mokshaya Ma Mashritya Yatantite Te Brahma Tat Vidur Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakiram. We discussed this, that Jara Bharana Mokshaya, intelligent person is always looking for a permanent solution in this world. How he can actually come out of the old age and death. What is a permanent solution to the suffering in this world, which is the source of suffering is birth, death and old age and disease. So an intelligent person, Krishna says, he is looking for a permanent solution in this world. Mam ashritya atantiye. So for that permanent solution, an intelligent person understands that only by taking the shelter of Krishna, Mam ashritya, by taking the shelter of me, yatantiye, he endeavors to come out of this birth, death, old age and disease. So what happens to the person who comes out of this cycle of Jara Marana Mokshaya? So Te Brahma Tat Vidu Krishnam. He qualitatively understands the nature of spiritual living. We have material living and we have spiritual living. So we discussed elaborately last week what is meant by Brahman. Te Brahmatat Vida Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam. And by naturally becoming spiritual in nature, he is able to do all the activities, the same karma what he was doing in the material world. Now he has transcended and is continued to engage in the service in the spiritual world. Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam. This is what the 29th verse says. And the 30th, Krishna elaborately explains his position in the world, and we explained this is not out of arrogance that Lord Krishna is trying to put himself higher. Lord Krishna is trying to help all of us to understand his position so that we are able to connect to him, reawaken our lost relationship. Yeah. Sa adi bhutam, sa adi daivam mam. So Krishna, he says, is the governing principle. Sa adi bhutam. Sa adi daivam, governing principle of all the universal creation, how it is maintained by the demigods. Sa adi yagnam, he is the purpose of sacrifice. Once we understand Krishna is the governing principle of the nature, how the nature is entirely it's working, if you are able to understand how nature is working, then we will be able to understand the objective behind it, which is Krishna. Yeah, how Krishna places us in this world, the nature, and through the mysterious working of the nature, he enables us to reawaken our lost relationship with him and reconnect back to Krishna. So, Asa Adi Bhutam, Sa Adi Daivam. Krishna is the source of all the Devatas. And Krishna gives the clarity in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita through the universal expansion. Yeah. So, how he shows the Virata Rupa and where Arjuna is able to see Sa Adi Daivam. All the demigods are in the expansion of Krishna. They are residing in Krishna. Yeah. And how each and every things that are happening in this material world, we could able to see the universal form of Krishna. Even the opponents in the Kurukshetra war are entering into the mouth of Krishna. That also is visible to the eyes of Arjuna when he sees the Virata Rupa of Krishna. So, Sa Adi Daivam Mam, Krishna says, I am the source of this nature, source of all the Devatas, source, the objective of all the work we do in this world. Objective is what? The end goal. What is the whole purpose of what I am doing is Krishna. So once we understand these three principles, prayana kale apichamam, for our journey in this world, you would be able to understand what is the purpose of this journey. And the purpose of this journey is ultimately, once this journey finishes, the perfectionist is able to remember Krishna. How can I remember Krishna now? How can I remember Krishna while passing out of this body as well? Te vidur yukta chetasaha. He is the intelligent person who is yuktaha, connected to me. Chetasaha, through his mind, intelligence, ego, and through his body, by performing the activities, he is able to connect to me eternally. So Lord Krishna summarizes the 7th chapter. Immediately, Arjuna has doubts. How can I understand Sa Adi Bhuta, Sa Adi Daiva, Sa Adi Yajna? So Arjuna asks these questions, and what is meant by karma? Because Lord Krishna is now telling in the previous verse, if you see, 29th verse, Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam. So Krishna says, even in entering into the spiritual world, you continue to do the karma. So what is that karma which we are going to do in the spiritual world? What is that karma which we are going to do in the material world? Arjuna immediately asked that question also. What is that karma? Because till now I thought this karma is related to this material body. But am I supposed to do the karma even after getting the spiritual body in the spiritual world? So Arjuna is having the questions. So we are going to look through these 4 verses, which are basically doubts clarification by Krishna, doubts asked by Arjuna. So the acronym for this chapter is DEAD. There is nothing related to dead to this chapter, but D means doubts. That is the first portion of each chapter. E means the end of life. What should I do during the end of my life? Everyone, today's world, they are so engaged in the material activities, they are enamored with the journey they are going through in accumulating. No one wants to know what is the end. They think that, for example, if you are watching a movie, whatever the new movie has come, I asked my milkman. So I was asking this KGF. I said, hey, bro, you went KGF? Yeah, I went KGF. How do you do? Manage tickets. So he said, since I knew the KGF is going to come to the theater, I spent around a week to understand who actually works in the theater and became friend with them to get the tickets in advance for my entire family. So I said, fine. So this is the mentality of those people who are engrossed in earning wealth, fame, control, beauty, and all the opulences of this world. Engrossed. If you tell that, what is your journey? Where are you heading? No, don't ask me all those things. Just enjoy this moment of time where you are in. So, people of this world, are so engrossed in exploiting these senses so much that they do not want to know what is the end result. No one want to know, just like a person who says, don't tell me what is going to happen in the movie. This movie of life, we are all in. Everyone are in this movie of life. And sad part is, those who are engrossed in, enjoying, they do not want to know the reality. But a spiritually engrossed person really is inquisitive. I'm earning so much. What is going to happen? Just like, for example, Valmiki. This Valmiki, who was Dasuratnakar, he was earning wealth like anything those days. How he used to earn? He used to go and do the dacoit in the forest. Wealthy people, he used to snatch all their wealth and he used to take and give it to the family members. And who used to oppose snatching? He used to just, what is that? Another movie came, they are doing that like this, right? Yeah, he used to just do this, yeah, and kill them. And Narada Muni once asked, Narada Muni, seeing this Dasuratnakar's work, My goodness, is a startup, big startup. All his startup is about snatching wealth from other people. Whoever opposes, just kill them and take that wealth, go and give it to his family members. Please them. So Narada Muni, seeing them, asked, what is this big startup is? You are so busy. Whom are you giving all this wealth to? And Dasaratnakar said, I am giving to my wife to make her happy, and giving to all my children to keep all of them happy, serve them. And Narada Muni asked one thing, do you know what you are doing? The karma what you are accumulating is going to actually, negatively affect you. With auspiciousness, whatever you had from previous life, you have been doing all this and it's been possible. But now what you are doing is creating your own destiny, and it is going to create such an inauspiciousness in your life that you will have a cruel end. Have you checked with your family with whom you are trying to please them? Are they going to share your cruel end? So Dasaratnakar immediately went back and asked his wife that I am having I am giving you every day all the wealth, and you are happy, and I am also happy seeing you. But I met a gentleman in the forest. He told me the way I am accumulating this wealth, I am creating cruel end for my life. Whatever I am going to follow in my future, it's all going to be inauspiciousness. I'm going to have an inauspicious death as well. So, will you be able to take some part in this life also, what I'm going to have in future? Then immediately wife said, I didn't even know that how are you accumulating wealth. My only thing was you were giving me the wealth I was enjoying and you were also enjoying. You should have told me how you are accumulating. Now that you have already done all the sinful activities of killing people and accumulating wealth, don't come and tell me that share this part of my life also. I'm not going to share. He went to the children also. Children were also not ready to share the sin. Immediately Dasaratnakar understood. The whole point in my life was I was trying to accumulate wealth, and enjoy myself. But I never thought about what is going to happen. How am I actually accumulating? I never thought about. Everyone leads life, but conscious life. How many are ready to do this conscious buying? Pick up the bottle of ingredient and look in the behind how much, what is the ingredient it has? Is it really beneficial for my body? Is it really going to help me? How many are really into this conscious buying? Conscious living comes only when we understand what goes inside and what comes outside. Whatever goes inside comes outside. So we need to be conscious in whatever we do. So this Dasaratnakar understood. As soon as he understood, no one are going to share my cruel period I am going to go through because of whatever I did in the past. He came back to Narada Muni and cried in front of him that unconsciously I was just immersed in earning for my family members. Never even thought how I should earn. I was only thinking about earning. Now I understood no one will take partnership in your crime. They will only take partnership in your enjoyment. I am surrendering onto you. So, why many people don't want to look into? Because the reality comes in front of them. No one are sober enough. Dehinasmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jaraha tata dehantara praptihi dhirastatrana muhyate. Dhiraha is one who understands that I was young in the 30 years back. I grew and became a adult, and after adult all the black hairs are becoming grey, and in this I am going to become old as well. Krishna says dhirastatrana. A dhira, a sober person, doesn't really worry about this entire journey, because When he understands the journey of this life, the movie of this life is still more romantic, is still more adventurous, is still more exciting. Even after leaving this body, he becomes very, very, very determined to go through the spiritual life, because spiritual life is a preparation for next life. So hence, people today's life, they really do not want to inquire about anything, about what is going to happen to me. They are only thinking about present. So these doubts Arjuna asked Krishna, and Krishna is going to elaborately explain to him. Doubts is a function of intelligence. Question one should ask. Everyone asks questions. Yeah, two birds come together. Acha, to hum chalte hain. Another bird asks, fir kab miloge? Yeah. So in each and every day we are all asking questions. But our questions are pretty much related to only survival. Vrunda wants to survive in her class, 4th standard, right? So Vrunda wants to go to 5th standard. She doesn't want to go to 4th. She wants to survive in 5th standard, right? So you want to be obedient. So you start asking question, very, very nice, impressing question to the teachers. So the teachers will keep her in the 5th standard. Yeah. So everyone are asking questions. The employee asks the questions to the boss to mesmerize him. Yeah, impress him. Wife asks the questions to the husband to impress. Husband asks the question to the wife to depress. What have you cooked today? So everyone are asking questions. So everyone in this world are asking question and the another person is answering. And all this question is all about our eating, mating, sleeping and defending. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunavsha. All these questions are only to that. Husband asks, what did you cook today? It's about question about eating. Vrinda says, I'm really want to see Motu Patlu. So everything, enjoyment. Answer and question, answer and question. Sleeping, question and answer. Defending, again going to work, question and answer. We are only limiting our question and answer is about our survival only. Survival in this world. And we ask question to whom? We ask question to someone with whom we have trust, right? Somebody having experience. Just imagine the material questions of survival, we are looking for someone who we trust. How about the questions about life and death? Life challenges. Do we really ask those questions to common people, anyone coming? We ask someone who is confidential. So Arjuna has picked up Krishna to ask about questions about the life. That's why scripture says, Shrotavyadina Rajendra, Nrinam Santi Sahasrashaha. So, for questions, there are millions of questions. Shrotavyadini Rajendra. Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, for survival, there are millions of questions everyone asks every day. Shrotavyadini. To hear answers why Virat Kohli is not performing. What has happened to him? There is a discussion that is going on. He should not have got married when he was in 26 years. Why is he failing for 2 years? So, everyone in political field also, everyone are asking questions. One question will lead to unending discussions in political world. So, Sukdev Goswami says, Shrotavyadini Rajendra, just to hear about question and answer, Nunam Shanti. There are, for human beings, Sahasrasaha, thousands of discussions you can do. If you take IPL itself, whole day you can discuss. If you take political world, what is happening in today's Karnataka, all corruption and everything, whole day. My classmates will be discussing, fighting. Nunam Shanti, Sahasrasaha. Thousands of questions you can keep on asking, answering, keep on asking, answering. That's what these journalists go. They go to the famous people. Madam, what you are doing today? I am cooking today. Wow, you are cooking. Okay, let me come and do the video of your cooking. So see the question and answer, quality of question and answer. So Nirnam Santi Sahasrashaha, there are thousands of questions everyone asks. Journalists ask questions, stupid questions. The politicians answer stupid answers. These journalists go, and ask a political person about another political person. See, he said this to you. What is your answer? Just inciting them. They don't do anything. Just come and scratch. Scratch another person, go and scratch another person, keep on doing that. And we all spend time. Nudam santi sahasrashaha apashyatam atmatattvam. Someone who do not know what is the aim of human life spends every day thinking about my problem, my problem, my problem. Everyone problem, problem, problem. Vrinda? Problem, problem, problem. So, whole life becomes surrounded by problem. Hear my problem, please. Then I will hear you. You hear my problem first. Everyone wants to share problems only. Yeah, Vrinda? Everyone wants to share. My problem you are not hearing. You are not at all loving me. Because you are not hearing my problem. So, whole world is apashyatam atmatattvam. We are not at all interested in what is the goal of human life. Gruheshu gruhamedina. That's what scripture says. Asking question, asking question, asking questions, problems, problems, problems. That's all. So here, what is the difference between Arjuna asking questions to Krishna? Krishna is answering in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. Sorry, today I spoke a lot about questions because it's very, very important to understand. Vedic scriptures itself started with questions. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. So, very, very important because Arjuna is asking life questions. Questions which help him to lead life. Understand the purpose of life. Everyone were fighting in the Kurukshetra war. Why is that Arjuna only put the weapons down? Others could have put the weapons down also, right? That is why Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. Because Arjuna was putting the weapons down. Otherwise, everyone pick up the laptop, start working. Java programming every day. Yeah. So no one trying to why I'm doing this. No one asks this. Everyone are busy in doing, working. So why I'm doing is very, very important to ask, right? That's why it is a Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue, and Arjuna put his weapon down. He said, what is the use in doing this war? Because I am killing my relatives and relatives won't be there. I will win the war, get the kingdom. No relatives are there to enjoy with me. What is the whole purpose? Arjuna's point of view was his own enjoyment. How I am going to enjoy without relatives with kingdom? No use. Bhishma will not be there. Bhishma will not even smile when I am entering the kingdom. And all my Duryodhana and others will not learn their lessons. Everyone will be dead. How I am sure that Duryodhana learnt his lesson? He would have dead. Who will teach him again? Dead. Where he went? I don't know. Very, very depressing. I want Duryodhana to learn now. That was Arjuna's, predicament. And he said, I am not going to fight. That is when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and this was not a monologue that Krishna was speaking and Arjuna was hearing. It was a dialogue. Arjuna was asking relevant question. Now see the end of 7th chapter, Krishna said, I am Adibhuta, Adidaiva, Adiyagya. And Krishna says, once who understands this, Prayana Kaleche Apimam, they will be able to understand, they will be able to remember even at the time of death. And they will enter to the spiritual world, Adhyatma Chakilam. And they will do the karma in the spiritual world also. Arjuna said, what is this karma? Already I am doing karma. Again I have to do karma in spiritual world. Why should I go there? You are getting what I mean? So these questions Arjuna asked in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's very, very important for us to understand this. Otherwise, I can just speak what Arjuna asked question, what Krishna answered. If we do not really understand why Arjuna is asking these questions, we will not be able to. So now Krishna told Arjuna, Jara Marana Mokshaya, once they come out of the old age and death, they would be able to become Brahman. So now Arjuna is asking, Arjuna Uvacha 8.1, Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam. So you spoke to me in 7th chapter that you will be engaged in Adhyatma. What is this Adhyatma all about? Kim Tat Brahma. What is that Brahman is all about? You are saying you are going to become Brahman. What is that Brahman? Kim Tat Brahman. Kim Adhyatmam. Kim Karma Purushottama. What is this karma is all about? You are telling me that entering into the spiritual world, Adhyatma Chakilam, you will be engaged in the activities. What is those activities? What is the activities I am doing now? After moksha, what are the activities I am going to do? So Arjuna is asking very, very intelligently. Adibhutam chakim proktam. You said Adibhuta. Once you understand me as Adibhuta, Adi Daivam, Adi Yajnam. So Krishna is Arjuna is asking, Adibhutam chakim proktam. Who is called Adibhuta? Krishna, once he told Adibhutam, Mam, I am the Adibhuta. Now Arjuna wants to understand, how are you Adibhuta? You get what I mean? Arjuna is not satisfied with Krishna's this one. He wants to explore it more and more and more and understand. That is Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Adibhutam chakim proktam. Adidaivam kim uchyate. Which is called Adidaiva. You said Adidaivam Mam. You said I am the Adidaiva. How is it that you are Adidaiva if all the Adidaivam is consisted of all the demigods? How is it you can become Adidaiva if they are all demigods? So Krishna now tells about his universal form, where the presence of all the living entities, including the devatas. So Adidaivam kim uchyate. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Next verse. Adi yajna katam ko atra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katam neyosi niyata atmabihi. So here Krishna told in the 7th chapter end, see, by understanding these concepts, Prayana Kale, your journey after this life, you will be able to understand now itself. Now Arjuna is asking, Prayana Kale Chakatam. How is it that those engaged in devotional service to you understand you at the time of death? So, Adi Yagnam Katam Ka Atraha. Arjuna asking, who is that Lord of sacrifice? Krishna said, I am the Lord of sacrifice, but Arjuna is now asking Krishna to explain this elaborately. How is that you are the Lord of all the sacrifices? How does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in the devotional service know you at the time of death? See, these questions are all about our life journey. Why these questions are all about life journey? Because whatever you are trying to get answers, this is about those accumulations which are going to stay with you. If you go and ask, for example, when I went to Darwin, there were only 40-50,000 people, and Indians were 100 families. As soon as I went, these 100 families, the families started coming and catching me up. Come, let us discuss. So they took me to a beach. So we went and we sat next to the beach in Darwin. And they sat and they had got the chair also to sit on the sandy beach and see the waves, and serious discussions going to start. And immediately they started asking about, in the Indian society meeting, we had a 23-year-old person becoming a millionaire. What are we doing? How did he become millionaire? Then he started telling he went to Bahrain. He started selling export-import. How was he managing all those? So all this discussion went for 1.5 hours. I had only got $500 from my company to survive for next 2 weeks. And I was hearing them in all thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars. I was just listening to them. Questions about, this is about earning money. Answers, will it stay with us? Answers to the questions, how to become rich millionaire, we will become. But the point of this is, even though we become, we need to leave everything. So Arjuna's questions to Krishna were the eternal questions. Answers are going to stay with him forever in this life journey. The questions which normally we ask is for our survival is going to finish end of this life. That's why it's very, very important to be asking questions is very important. For example, asking question made me Krishna conscious. I went to Australia, I was a vegetarian, I was looking for somewhere where I can eat. So after 3 months in Darwin, where I was cooking myself, I went to Melbourne, and this Ramakrishna Venkatesh told me, Radha, when you go to Melbourne, go to ISKCON temples, right? They will give you free food. Don't worry about cooking at all. In Darwin, there is nothing. But in Melbourne, you go to Crossways in Swanston Street. Every day you will get different natural fruit halwa. One day they make raspberries, one day strawberries, one day they make with dates, one day they will make with pineapple. Every day you will be able to eat different flavor of halwa, natural flavors. I said, again you are going to give unlimited for $1.5. I was really brown rice and everything was so. And I then went after eating, filled stomach, very satisfied. I wanted to inquire, how are you doing all this? How are you maintaining this? I went and Arvind was the manager, Crossways manager. I went, sir, how are you maintaining all this? Cooking so much. Hundreds of people were in line to eat. And he said, you come on weekend. I will tell you how are you managing. That was my start of my Krishna conscious journey. Because I asked question, how are you managing this? I could able to enter into this mysteries of Krishna consciousness. You got what I mean? Most they come and eat, wow, so nice, and they sleep off. Then there it's after they get up and they leave. $1.5, whole day it's gone. Eat for the night also, and a little bit, like camel store it, and many Australians do that. Eat, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, they don't leave at all. Eat. They come at 12:30 with their girlfriend and sit, eat, 4:30 till when the crossface is winding and they leave. So many, they don't even ask question. The connection I could able to do. Why? I asked question. You go to your room, you would have done explosion, big bang. Throw out all your skirts everywhere. You throw out all your pants everywhere. Yeah? And when you come back from school, Vrinda sees everything is tidy up. So if Vrinda says, oh nice, just aram se sleep, then there is nothing. Is there any connection happening? If she asks, how did it happen? In the morning it was an explosion. In the evening is the orderly placement. How from morning explosion to the orderly placement of entire thing has happened in my room? Did it happen by chance? No, someone has done it for you. So once she goes and asks Mama, that how did you do? You would have spent so much of time. I'm sorry, I messed up my room. Then there is a connection. Yeah? Then immediately Lakshmi Mataji hugs Vrunda, and Vrunda, I love you so much. Because Vrunda connected with Lakshmi through emotions, right? Emotional connection, right? If you do that only, you can connect with mother. That same thing. Why Krishna picked up Arjuna? From all of Pandava's army, Krishna picked up Arjuna because there was a connection. That's why Adi Shankara connects Krishna to the cow and Arjuna to the calf. Which verse? Yeah. Sarva Upanishado Ghavo Dogta Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsaha. Partho is like the little calf. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Dogdam Gitamritam Mahat. As soon as the calf comes in front of the cow automatically starts milking. That's what milkmen wanted to do is they keep the calf in front of the cow eyes and they start milking. Cow will be seeing the calf and the milk will naturally come out. Similarly, Krishna spoke to Arjuna because Krishna had an intense love for Arjuna. That's why he gave Subhadra to Arjuna, you need to take care. Why? Because Krishna had intense love for Arjuna. So, Who can give the storehouse of opulence Subhadra to someone unless and until he is close to him? Yeah. So Krishna only said to Subhadra, for Subhadra, for you, Arjuna is the only husband. So that is the intent. That is why Krishna elected Arjuna as chariot owner and him being the chariot driver. I am only stopping at the questions. Today we didn't hear about the answers from Krishna because see, unless and until we really understand what these questions are all about, why it is connected, why question is important. For example, Ramesh Prabhu, when he started coming, right? So Ramesh Prabhu was seeing the Vrindavana program is happening every week. Ramesh Prabhu, as normal, he used to go to films also. Ramesh Prabhu, used to like going to the hotels, have nice idli dosa, idli vada, sambar, and he used to go to sometime films. So I used to call him. If he doesn't come, I used to call him. Prabhuji, why you didn't come for the program? Ramesh Prabhu was feeling, as soon as he used to see my mobile call coming, oh, what is this? He is calling me. And Ramesh Prabhu, he openly shared with me. I used to avoid you, Prabhuji, initially because I knew I was guilty. I didn't come for Vrindavan. And sometimes I used to straight go home because I used to be late and I used to feel now going for the prasadam time is not good. I used to go home. And when I started coming, I used to see that you give class and you go up and the prasadam will be ready. And so much all varieties used to be there. I used to, who comes and cooks? Kitchen is clean, everything is happening. So I used to wonder, how is it all happening? Because I used to come, attend and have food and go. So one day I inquired, how is it all happening? Then I became serious. You get what I mean? The person whom he asked, he is there here only, Krishna Prabhu. He asked Krishna Prabhu, Krishnan, I don't know, where is this all happening? How all this organized happens? How the cooking happens? So then when I started getting the answers, exploring, I became serious. They are genuine. They are genuinely doing it. I should become serious. And slowly, all this affection to films went. No films. Leave films. He was working as a commissioner. He found, why should I leave till another 6 years doing all these kinds of, politics of this work? Let me take voluntary retirement and start working for Krishna. So this inquiry is very, very important. Those who have inquired, they have become serious. Similarly, Arjuna became serious. Why? He asked questions. Without questions, nothing happens. That's why Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanuddharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhute. Wherever Arjuna's questions is there, wherever Krishna's answer is there, there is only victory. Nowhere else. That's why never ever shy away from asking questions. But don't keep questions about your problems. Problems will be there, but we need to inquire, why is this coming to me? That is very, very important. So once we become serious, Bhagavad Gita becomes meaningful. Yeah? Hare Krishna.